Hello, everybody. Welcome to In Our Humble Opinion. I'm Chachi. This is Tom. Tom, say hi.
What's up?
We're going to go through all of
Week
Week Nine's action.
9.
As you can see, I have the first game winner. It was a Thursday nighter. It was Dolphins, I guess technically at the Chiefs, but they were in Germany, so it was really cool. Tom, you want to go first on your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs just the Chiefs keep finding ways to win. It was a really entertaining game. You can still kind of see though, like even with Miami, they haven't beat anybody that's over 500, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they're doing a lot of good things. Don't get me wrong. I like how Tua's playing. This isn't really a shot at their team, but I'll be honest. Um, some point, man, you have to start wondering. Like again, they got to have a big time win. I don't know where that's going to come from. I think they got the big time players in the AFC. Man, they're going to have to show up and beat someone. I've only seen the biggest win this year is probably against the Chargers, Week 1. As a team that you're saying, hey, they were legitimate, but I think again, the NFL is about the time when you play people, right? I don't know. I think the Chargers now might actually beat them because they just, again, they're more physical. Physicality on offense, man. I think that's what's killing. That's what's killing Miami, man. I mean, that's what keeps somehow Kansas City fighting, man. Their physical offense. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't think Mahomes is playing at the true MVP level that people want to say he
Oh
is
no,
right
no, no!
now.
I agree. I think giving him the MVP is a joke because I think you're just doing that because of like past stuff, which is wild, which I can't stand. Honestly, the way everyone's played this year, dead honest. Stroud, we'll talk about him later. If you look at the stats and that team around him, right? Not the receiving core is very underrated. I will say that for the Texans, they're not bad. D'Amico Ryan's has done a great job. I mean, you could legitimately make a case for him for MVP, but honestly, AJ Brown probably, which is wild because he's a wide receiver. But that stat he has is crazy. Uh, I mean, it's a really open season for MVP. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go to a quarterback. I don't think anybody in the
No,
NFL as a quarterback's really played
no, I agree.
MVP caliber football. I mean, I think there's actually some defensive guys that you could
True, true.
that played out of
Miles
their
Garrett.
mind. I mean,
Miles Garrett.
Micah Parsons is a guy that comes to mind, but
Miles Garrett.
I'm trying to think. I'm missing a couple guys that I mean, I'd take Fred Warner any day. That guy's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
absolutely.
Miles Garrett. I would love to see a guy like that win MVP. Like Miles Garrett, Miles Garrett. That guy's worked hard for a lot of years, and it's been, people know how good he is, but like this year is kind of
Oh yeah.
proofs in the pudding, man. So like, I would love to see some of these defensive guys get their due because they actually are making a massive difference in the league right now, and you're not seeing these crazy points per game outputs from teams. It's
No,
like
no.
actually
It's
been refreshing
well
to
that
see a little bit more
that's
old
my
school football.
that's my thing. The Chiefs, the thing that's underrated about them, because you always talk about the offense and Mahomes, of course, but it's the defense. The defense is why they're good. They're legit. That's a legit defense. Bolton's all over the field. He's hitting everyone. He's a McDuffie. He's a really good corner. Does a great job. They're very solid defense. Very solid. They're very good. That's why
They play
that's.
to they're able to play to their coordinator style, which is aggressive,
And I
right?
was gonna say
And
Spagnola needs to
that's
get his due.
what's
He's
going to
been
matter.
good
Yep.
his whole
So
career. I mean, not a great coach, but a terrific defensive coordinator. Terrific.
there's a lot of those in the
Yeah,
NFL,
yeah, well,
but
yeah. But see, at least he understands that, which is cool, because he's not like some of these guys. They just keep doing it, and it's like, dude, you were better. It's like remember Rex Ryan's really solid coach, but he was as a coordinator, man, he's a wizard. Wade Phillips, perfect example. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. Deserves to. He's amazing. He's just head coach wasn't for him. It's a different skill set. It's not even a hate thing because some coaches, I think wouldn't be the best coordinators. you know. So,
right.
all right, next game, guys. We'll go to the next one. We have. Speaking of the Browns, we have the Cardinals at the Browns. The Browns won the game 27-0. Now, to be fair to the Browns, they had like the easiest game it wasn't fair for that rookie quarterback. He had a great defense playing him, and his first start, and it looked like that because he was in a bad situation. Deshaun Watson was back. offense looked a little more fluid. Cleveland looks really tough. Defense travels, baby. They can go anywhere and win. They got a tough defense. They're gonna be a tough team. At time.
Yeah, no, I think the Cardinals got. Cardinals, you know, that's a tough one. They're coming on the East Coast or whatever, close-ish. Young team. They've been battling all year. You know, again, Cleveland is a good team.
Dude's first start, that poor guy, man, he's probably scared.
You know, you know, it's different. Like, you see a guy like Josh Dobbs that's been around the league that can handle himself, understands. Clearly, we'll get into that game. But, like, yeah, rookie against that type of defense where you have a really young offensive line against that front, that defense, it's a recipe for a disaster. But it was probably smart that Gannon didn't put Murray out there.
No, I agree.
He would have died and blown out another ACL. So
I agree.
Not really much to talk about. I mean, I will say I watched again some Deshaun Watson stuff. Dude, I hope Cleveland can just get out of that contract, man. That guy's terrible.
Oh no, he's not worth the money. No,
it's not even fun to watch. Like, I was actually, you know, look, taking all his off-field stuff out of the picture, I really enjoyed what Deshaun Watson had to bring to the table as a player.
Yeah, same. He hasn't shown it.
This is the one thing I always say. Everyone wants to talk about, like, these guys should hold out for more money and all that. I will tell you this right now. You have to play because Father Time always wins.
Yep. He don't have the same mobility he had, dude. He don't.
Well, and he looks like the game looks too fast for him.
Yep.
I mean, he's been back for a year. I mean, you know, it may take him 2-3 years to come back, and, you know, he's not going to be the same guy. So now you have to evolve your game. I think his career is kind of just shot. He's just going to be meh, and I think he could have been great.
I agree.
And again, taking off the field issues, look, I'm just talking about a player, man. We don't, you know, off the field stuff, that's all it's ever talked about in the media. That's not what we're really about. So, anyways, that's really all I got to say about that game. I think I think the Ravens are in for a big test this week, or when they play. I think their next opponent is Cleveland.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think both teams, it's going to be a wonderful game to watch. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Here we go. Next game, we got the Commanders against the Patriots. Commanders won the game 20-17 in Foxborough. Tom, what do you think? Ed, I'll let you go.
Yeah, man, that's super, like God, New England, they're just having a rough time, man.
It is. It's true. It's true.
You know, like, they should have ran away with that, but I do got to say, like, super interesting how I do feel like Sam Howell is maturing. He's getting better and better and better. I mean, yeah, you know, that Commanders team, they're definitely, like, in a reset, but I think they have a lot of good pieces moving forward. I think it was smart to get rid of Chase Young because, honestly, the guy doesn't play. I think that ACL is rough. I don't really know if he's going to be any good in San Francisco.
Gotcha.
I'm sure they might be able to resurrect him. We'll find out. But, you know, he had all that. He was really good for that rookie season, but him lose that ACL has totally changed him as a player. So, you know, yeah, we're gonna find out. But I mean, I do like Howell. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think you got to just stick with him. And, you know, hopefully they keep building confidence with him.
Yeah, I agree with you. My overwhelming takeaway from, like, their game so far, my overarching, it's Sam Howell's been really good. He really has. He's been a terrific quarterback for them. I think he has a lot of potential. I like that he doesn't really get flustered. He really just comes back every time they get down. He keeps playing hard. I agree with you. Washington, while they have their issues, like you said, they have pieces. So it's a rebuild, but it's not like they're not that far away to being a competitive team. As for the Patriots, Mac Jones ain't it, but I don't want to blame him either because this offense they run is very just vanilla. It's kind of people are dropping passes. I can't blame him for all this stuff. Did anyone see the drop? I mean, like, that you're gonna blame him on that? Like, dude, catch the ball. I know it's Juju. Come on, bro. You got a Super Bowl. You know, come on, bro. What was that? Anyway, they're a mess, and you know this Belichick thing's kind of looming over them now because they're like, you don't want to fire them because of the backlash, but then it's also people are like, fire it. It's a whole mess. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I do know that team is not going to win anytime soon. Not in the division they're in, not the way they're playing. They gotta get a lot of stuff together. That team's a mess. I don't even know. I don't see the direction there. You got old and young. It's a mess. Okay, next game we got Seahawks at the Ravens. The Ravens won 37-3. Usually I'll go first, but I'll let Tom because it's a blowout. It's not a lot to talk about, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, Seattle coming on the East Coast, just they don't always do well.
No. That's a tough place to play too. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean the Ravens' front seven is on defense is really good.
Yeah.
Seattle got exposed. I mean their left guard just was awful.
He was really bad. Yeah.
I mean there was just times too. I mean clearly the Ravens had a very good preparation in terms of just even lining up on defense, how they attacked the left side of that offensive line. I mean Geno just didn't have a chance. Anything they tried to develop deep down the field, they couldn't do it.
No.
I mean, Geno, honestly, his best option was to throw it outside the Lockett and throw out routes. That's like really all they could do the whole game.
Yeah, Lockett's a heck of a player. I mean, talk about that guy. That's one of the most underrated players.
DK was kind of non-existent. They couldn't get the ball to him because Geno just didn't have time.
I like DK, but he's very he's good, but he only can run a certain. He's kind of stiff, so his routes he can run because he's so big, kind of goes posts. He's too stiff for the real intricate one. It's weird if you watch him.
Yeah, no, dude, it was just it wasn't their day. They didn't match up well.
No.
Saw it.
I agree
with the Ravens. They couldn't really. The Ravens shut down their run game, so they were just one-dimensional on offense. Defensively, they played well early on. The Ravens were backed up. Leonard Williams, I'll say this about the Ravens. They are playing really good football across the board. It's consistent.
Yep.
I will tell you their weakness right now is their offensive tackles, their offensive line in general. I think, Linderbaum's a really good center. That guy he's their best lineman. But, man, Ronnie Stanley, if you watch some of that tape, he's just not the same player.
Very stiff. He's very stiff, too.
He has the widest base I've ever seen. You can't generate any power as an offensive lineman.
Well, Tom, you could speak to this more than anybody. He was giving up the edge a lot, too, which is the one thing you cannot do. Let the guy get around. At least make him do a spin in or something. He made him just... he's not the same player they drafted. It's hard to find left tackles in this league, though. Yeah.
I think that's why they're sticking with him because, hey, at this point you're going to let Lamar do his thing. What I like about Lamar right now in his game, he's getting the ball out really quick. He looks like a legitimate NFL passer in terms of he can just flick that ball out. That's what it's about. It's not college where you need to make these elaborate, crazy plays. No. Like the NFL, you can just flick it and go. So
the thing I appreciate about the Ravens is they're running the ball too. They understand they have a good defense. You don't have to score every drive. You gotta just give them a little rest, let them go out there, stop the guys, score. You know what I mean? Complimentary football, you always say, is how you win games. That's it. And I do think they found something in Keaton Mitchell because he looks like a home run threat. Now you got your speedster too. You get him the ball, let him get up in the hole, fly. You know what I mean? Little draws and stuff. He's got some get up and go, man. It was and interestingly, his father he played for the Ravens in the championship team, and he's the one that ran back the blocked kick for a touchdown against the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship game in 2001, which is hilarious, which is just crazy. It just kind of shows you how football kind of it's pretty interesting sometimes, And I agree with you. I think they're playing well. I do see the issues. I think Ronnie Stanley isn't being talked about as an issue as much because of the quarterback they have, because Lamar's so good at getting away from the rush. Like the one play, he ran right around him, Mafe, for the Seahawks, and was about to grab him. Lamar ran away from him, got like a 20-yard run. It looks good, right? But if you watch the film, like Tom's saying, dude, what was he doing? He's a speed rusher. The one thing you can't let a guy with speed like that do is get around you like that, because then he's full speed at the quarterback. It's like, I don't know what he's doing. And then, like he said, Leonard Williams, there's literally a play. There's multiple plays, but there's one in particular where he gets literally put on his back while he's being double teamed, which is like, he don't even have like his full momentum going. He still just threw you in the back. I mean, I like Ronnie Stanley. I know he's come back from a lot. But to be fair, I don't want to hear this next year. I'm just going to bring this up because I know it's going to happen. When they have Patrick Queen's a free agent, Matabuke is a free agent. When and if they lose these people, I'm going to hear nothing about Lamar's contract. Go see how much they're paying Ronnie Stanley, who, if you really look at the film and analyze it, he is not a top 10 left tackle, okay? He's not. And the thing is, you're going to lose people because you're paying him a lot of money, and he's not producing at that level. And it's no disrespect to Ronnie Stanley. He may step up later in the season. You never know. It's early still. But as of right now, that contract does not look good because he's been hurt for 2 of the seasons, and he definitely, like Tom said, does not look the same after those injuries. He really doesn't. Like Tom said, will be interesting. This is going to be an awesome game to watch coming up because this is what I'm happy about with the AFC North in general. It's back to how it was, where it's just tough, hard-nosed teams that play good defense. Because sneakily, because they took them a couple, like most of the season, the Bengals are back to playing pretty tough defense too. So all 4 teams, it's a every time they play each other, it's going to be tough, hard-nosed football, which is always fun to watch. I love that. And Gus Edwards needs to get more credit. That man's a good running back. But anyway, let's go to the next game. You good, Tom?
I'm great.
All right, we got Vikings at the Falcons. What did you think, Tom?
Oh, man, dude. Like, all right, number one, it has to be one of the most unbelievable things I've ever watched. Like, and when you start to hear more of the story of, like, Josh Dobbs, like, literally, he doesn't know these guys, and they're just playing, right? Like, yeah. Unbelievable. Like, let's just start there.
That is wild. And they were telling him, like, the plays. That was hilarious. Like, where they're lining up and what they're doing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, I'm super pumped about.
Well, that's a guy that's worked his butt off, too, in the league. Never, like, gave up.
Well, yeah, he's a smart guy, right?
Yep.
Like, he's an aerospace engineer. And it's just fun to see. And it's fun to see the guy compete and it was amazing. So let's just go there. But so watching some of the tape of the Falcons, that game, I'll say like Minnesota overall offensively, like just Kevin Stefanski, or not Kevin Stefanski, but Vikings just have a really good offensive scheme. Brian Flores, I mean, that defense is okay. I think he has to create a lot with very little. They just love the pressure, and I think there's ways to counter it. I love what actually Heineke and what Arthur Smith and the team are doing. They're getting the ball out quick. They're trying to hit them really quick because they want to play at the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. They actually, I thought this was the first time I've seen Kyle Pitts used in a really interesting way. There's been a lot of heat on Arthur Smith because, like, hey, this team's just not performing. Look, they scored 28 points, man. And everyone's complaining in the offense in the red zone. I get they missed conversions, but you know what? It was first and goal or second and goal at like the 1 yard line. They were going to hand it to Algier right in there. He would have scored. And they're all pro left, right guard, false starts.
Yeah.
Change is now what you can call. That kills you, right? Kyle Pitts, they try to run. I'll say this play call is bizarre, but it kind of made sense with what they're doing defensively by the Vikings. They tried to run this jet sweep with Jonnu Smith, and Kyle Pitts just completely, I mean, he's not a good blocker. That's not what he was drafted for, right?
Uh-huh.
Players got to show up and play. And I think, too, like their left guard missed a few, like when Bijan was in there, these were touchdowns. But because he missed a block and didn't finish or whatever, they turn into short gains.
Yeah.
And Bijan's trying, again, like Arthur Smith's scheming and calling a game, it just wasn't, there's guys that, again, you got to step up, man. Like, this is big boy football. And, again, I cannot stress enough, it takes all 11 players in the NFL. It truly does. And it's really, really hard. So you got to give credit to the other team, too, right? It was just a good game. It was fun to watch. I'll say, it sucks for Atlanta. Like, Atlanta should not be losing those games. I think they made the right move, though, going to Heineke. The offense he gets them in and out of the huddle. They move quick. They have a sense of urgency. It just looks like an NFL offense, right? Ritter, he needs to learn more. He needs, Ritter never had a veteran quarterback to learn from.
No,
Marcus Mariota, I'm not counting that last year. That was a joke, and the kid quit on the guy quit on the team. Whether anybody wants to like it or not, that guy went and had surgery and just said, "I'm done." So, yeah, super interesting. It's fun. I love rooting for an underdog, even though it is the Vikings. So, I'm happy the Minnesota Vikings Pro Shop said we're gonna make sure we have Josh Dobbs jerseys. So
that was smart, right? Yeah, man. I agree. Sentiment is the same. I agree. The Josh Dobbs thing was incredible. Like the 4th and 7, that was wild. They almost had him, and he got out the sack. It was like you said. Like you said, smart guy, and he showed it right there. Went right in the huddle. They said they were telling him the routes they were running. It was kind of like backyard football, man. You run this, you run that. They were figuring it out. True gamer, man. That guy, I think everyone roots for him. He's a true gamer. Like you said, I think the Falcons, I agree. Taylor Heineke's definitely a much better fit. Like you said, he gets out of the huddle quicker. Just has a sense of urgency to him. He seems like he knows what he's doing. It doesn't look like it's too big for him at the moment. He's always been kind of the gamer kind of dude. He's definitely a better fit for that team. And like you said, I can't get mad at an offense that scored 28 points. That's enough to win a game. You got to make some stops. They had a chance at the end to win the game, literally. So, I mean, sometimes the other team makes plays too. I mean, and Arthur Smith, did you see the picture of him without his mustache? It looks weird. I ain't gonna lie. Should have kept the mustache.
It's bizarre, man. He should have kept it.
Yeah, but you look like a whole different guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, I get Arthur Smith's going to be on the hot seat, but people got to understand, this roster I love where they're going. Guys now got to step up and make plays. I'll even say on defense, man, what's really frustrating for that team is, like, they actually have they upgraded a lot. That is a much better defense, but what they're really missing is a consistent pass rush. When you're lining up Calais Campbell at outside linebacker end, like, come on, man. Like, they got, they drafted a couple guys the past few years, in the 2nd, 3rd round, right? They went and picked up Bud Dupree, he's okay, but, man, guys, you got to step up and get a pass rush, man.
I agree.
That would have ended that game, and they couldn't do it, like, consistently, and they have to manufacture pressure, and that's honestly how you can play backyard football a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
I agree.
I mean, like I said, they need some key guys that need to step up and do what they were, do what they're on that team to do, So, that's definitely a tough one for that fan base, though. I think it takes a lot of the energy out of the stadium. Like, down here in Atlanta, you could get tickets to that game for nothing, which is crazy because it's like your team's in the hunt for winning the NFC South, man. Play, for the first time in a long time. I got to say that to Atlanta fans, man, support that team. I think that's what instead of everybody bashing them, like, that team has a lot of upside.
Oh, yeah, it's a wonderful stadium, too.
I lived in Atlanta. Like, go support them, man.
It's a wonderful stadium, too.
Just stop with the nonsense. You only get so many weeks of football, man. Go support that team.
I agree. And now our next game.
Stop being a flake.
Stop being a flake. Our next game, we have the Rams at the Packers. How about the Packers? 20-3. Let's go.
Woo!
Good, Tom.
Gosh, they're off the snide. Losing sucks, man. But it was just great to finally, like, what I love about that Packers team, they've kept fighting. This is the one reason why I always believe in Matt LaFleur to a point. I do think he is a really good leader and a great offensive mind. It's really interesting that it comes from the McVay tree. Joe Barry was a coach there. I joking with a few people, I swear Joe Barry's only the defensive coordinator for the Packers because when they play the Rams over like the past 5 years, the Rams can't do anything offensively. They look like, so it's like that's the only reason why Joe Barry's there, because he calls a really good game against them. That defense, I don't know where that defense came from, but can it play that way the whole year, please? Like, they were, they had a rookie 7th round corner, and he's really good. His last name's Valentine. This guy is jamming Nakua and just absolutely, like, that guy didn't do anything. Jair able to be on, Cooper Kupp. He tipped a couple balls. They got to a rookie safety that got a pick. They were just playing aggressive. And again, I think it goes to they play against a similar offense in practice every day. It just was fun to watch. And offensively, this stat is unbelievable, and it makes no sense to me why the Packers just don't feed Aaron Jones. When Aaron Jones has 20-plus carries in a game, it might even be 15. They're like 40-3.
Wow. Huh. Jeez.
Right? And they fed him. He got the ball 26 times. He had 20 rushes, 70. It's clear as day. Like, this guy, again, it's partially because their offensive scheme is truly based on the run. It's a Shanahan offense.
Yep.
But, feed the man. I understand he's been battling an injury, but this is a consistent theme every year. They won't feed him enough. And games, and even the first half, and you're always just like, look, man, sometimes 4 yards in a cloud of dust, it isn't pretty, but that's what your offense is, man. And you notice they established a run. They're able to do a lot of things. They stayed ahead of the chains. It was only 20 points, but it just looked different. Jordan Love was 20 for 26, or 22 for 26, I think. He looked, again, people were still complaining on his deep ball. He'll get there. It looked better. Christian Watson finally made a play and actually, went and got the ball for being 6'5".
Right. Yeah.
It just this is what I expected to see all year was, hey, we know we're going to struggle, but let's commit to the run and then let's be able to execute some of the game plan. And you can see Jordan Love can do it. I'm tired, again, we'll see at the end of the year.
Yep.
I think Jordan Love can be fine, but again, receivers caught the ball. It's amazing when people do the little things and do their job, what it can look like.
Look, I know that for a fact. The Ravens literally lost the game. You know how good a shape they'd be in right now if they would have won that game, a game they should have easily won because they didn't catch the ball, and that will cost you a game easily. If you guys don't remember that Steeler game, Steelers played hard. Don't get me wrong, they defense played hard the whole game, but if they caught 3 of those passes, they would have beat them by 20 points. They would have been 8-1 right now, had an easy lead. These games would have still been important, but you would have beaten every team in your division already on the road, which would have meant these 2 games weren't like life or death. But now, see, dropping the ball, it hurts you. Even one game, like Tom's saying. And here's the thing: I have watched the Packers games consistently because that's my colleagues and friends' team. So I'm like, hey, let me see. I know we're gonna have longer segments about that, both our teams, of course. And I'm like, hey, my overwhelming issue with their team, I'm sorry, is like Tom said, if you consistently watch these games, people want to blame Jordan Love. There are drops, big drops in every game that could have switched the momentum in some of these games. If you remember last week's game, not this one, they got the ball on a turnover. He threw a slant to one of the receivers. It was a read, I believe. He dropped the ball on this easy slant pass.
Touchdown.
Would have scored, yeah.
Easy touchdown.
And it's then they got stopped. Went for the 4th down, didn't get anything. You got to look at stuff like that. See, when you don't watch the games, and I'm not saying I watch every game, I don't. But that's why I never like to make a narrative about a whole game unless I watch the whole thing, because they'll put little highlights, and it's that ain't what really. You gotta watch the game. They never put that in there. That was a huge play in that game. That ruined the whole momentum of a comeback. And it was an easy catch. It wasn't thrown behind them. It was, hey, dude, concentration. Don't run without the ball. And I love receivers. Tom knows that. But stuff like that dude, it's an easy catch. Not only that, it's an easy play for you to make. Dude, they're giving you a touchdown. Catch the ball. Come on. I know he's young. But how many times can you use young as an excuse? Catch the ball.
No, you can't. And that's the one thing I love about the Packers is they've stopped with this young narrative. You got to step up, man. Young is week 1.
Yeah.
Week 2, you're a veteran, right? You played 1 game in the NFL. A couple other things that helped the Packers too. Their defensive line was unbelievable.
Oh yeah. They were killing it.
Played so well, right? Same with their offensive line, their interior guys. I'll say this about this coaching staff, and it still drives me nuts. especially on that offensive line, right?
Uh-huh.
Josh Hyman should have been starting at left tackle week 1. They said Walker outright won it because I think he just was more competitive, but that guy's not ready. He's clearly not ready. Josh Hyman, left tackle, and to let Walker develop. He's a young 7th-round rookie, right?
Yep.
Number 2, John Runyon Jr., he's been struggling all year. They drafted this kid, Sean Ryan, out of UCLA last year. He got in trouble with PEDs. This guy came in and drove Aaron Donald 5 yards off the ball. He had 7 snaps, and there were massive holes for Aaron Jones to run through. And that was when they had that first quarter touchdown, right?
Yep.
Or second quarter. Like, look, that's the stuff I want to see, man. Just like effort, physicality. Like, again, it was like road grade finish in box, man.
Yep. And
I'm just like, I don't understand coaching wise. Like, why is that guy not in there? Like, shoot, I would rather him make a mistake and block the wrong guy, but at least the other guy's on his butt. Because that's a guy you can coach. Like, John Runyon Jr., nothing against him, but he's been really struggling this year. So, again, it's just you got to put the best guys out there.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
There's loyalties and there's a lot of things that we don't understand, but I don't know. Film just doesn't lie. So, and I would love to see Sean Ryan get more reps. It doesn't mean Runyon needs to go to the bench. The guy's a veteran. But, like, those lines, when you saw those offensive lines and the defensive line, those are the strengths of this Packer team. And they showed up.
Well,
this team has a chance every week now to actually keep the game super close or be on the winning side, because that's what these teams are built to do.
Well, to your point, it's like you said, a 7th-round rookie corners played well last week because he got in the game and he gave it you get your shot. Some people play really well that you weren't ready to play well. Like, sometimes it's not, you don't go by the round they were picked in. It's some people play better than other people. Like you said, best man plays. I always go back to the guy on the Ravens this year. I have never heard of that man, and then I figured out he's a 30-year-old practice squad like legend. Mullet's playing. You could watch the film. I watched it this week when all 22 watched it for like 3 straight weeks. The guy is fundamentally sound. He's in front of his guy. He's making. I'm like, I don't know why it was on 20 teams. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it just clicked this year. Maybe the scheme's perfect for him. I have no idea. Go watch the film. 10's always making plays, and they never throw at him because he's always next to the guy he's supposed to be on. He's good. He knows his stuff. I don't know what happened. And then it's like, it's wild.
That's Rasul Douglas, man. Same thing. Like, how did that guy slip through the cracks for so many years on practice squads? And, the guy you could argue is
some guys just need an opportunity. I think that's what it really is. They don't get their shot, and when they do, you finally see it. Because, I get it. If they're doing good in practice, you're kind of like, it's practice. But then, doing it in a game, it's like you can't say anything. It's the legit game. And for the Packers, like you said, let Jordan Love play. Stop making everything about him he's not always the mistake. Like you said, Christian Watson, okay? How long is this dude going to live off of a 3-touchdown game from last year? He's not consistent. He's always hurt. I'm like, dude, and like Tom said, he never plays big. I don't even know he's 6'5" because he plays like Deshaun. He plays like Deshaun Jackson. Like, dude, you're not that little.
It goes to show you, right? There's something to be said. Like, look, I played in the FCS level, man. When you go against SEC guys every week, there's something to be said about I dominated at North Dakota State, and I was always wide open. To the NFL, these corners are right on 2 steps behind you. You might be 6'5", but you better play that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that does take some time, man. Some guys naturally, like Julio Jones, man, that was easy for him. Roddy White, that was easy for those guys played big-time football in the Southeast. I mean, Roddy White was UAB, but still, they were playing Alabama and teams like that.
Oh, no. I know what you mean.
But again, Christian Watson, like, it was nice to see him win a one-on-one ball where he had to outman someone. And he needs to do that more, because that's the expectation. You got to – look, everyone knows Jordan Love's learning the game. And I think sometimes he's just trying to throw people open instead of just letting it rip, especially on the deep balls.
Uh-huh.
But, man, if you got to give him any quarterback, right? Like, look at Josh Dobbs. His go-to guy was Addison and Hawkinson, right? He just trusted him. Like, you have to have a guy that's going to be reliable and do what you ask them to do.
No, really. No, it's true.
And if you don't have that, that's what's been happening in Green Bay. It's like, who is my guy?
Well,
I don't know.
look at Jalen
And
Hurts. How much that helps with Brown. He's AJ Brown's like security blanket.
look at Lamar. You had Mark
Andrews. Yep. Every
That
time.
guy is his security blanket when things go wrong.
Yep.
He knows I got this guy, and he's gonna make a play
Yep.
for me. You know that, and again, it's no different than if you're playing with your friends in your backyard. You know, you have to be able to trust the man next to you to make that play. So, it's really good for Green Bay, just to summarize it. And I'm really, again, the Rams, you saw Brett Rippon, that sucked for them. I'd be curious if Matt Stafford was out there, how that game would have turned out for Green Bay. But,
Yeah.
Again,
true.
sometimes it's just when you play someone, right? And,
Oh yeah.
no one feels sorry for anybody. And I'm not going to, Packers shouldn't apologize for winning. No one should. I'm not going to say they're going to go on a 10-game win streak here, but that was like the momentum you need. And sometimes you just need to win.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now, and so hopefully they should be confident playing Pittsburgh, going into Pittsburgh. Green Bay hasn't won there since 1940. It'd be kind of nice if they could find a way to.
Tom, I agree with you. I think they should definitely beat Pittsburgh and help us out. Come on, guys, let's go. Let go Pack go, baby.
Dude, I'll say this: the Packers have the number 10 scoring defense in the NFL. For all the crap that all these Packer fans give Joe Barry, just consider that.
Look, this is completely fair too. Tom knows this. I have nothing but respect for Pittsburgh. I do, but let's call a spade a spade. That offense is putrid. It's not good. Every week they're. I know it's bad because you know what? Honestly, playing them in Pittsburgh is actually really a better option now because when you stop their offense, that crowd turns on them quick. So all Green Bay has to do is keep stopping them. They start getting ticked off. I saw it in the game with the Ravens. They do. They flip on them real quick. Get like 3 and outs in a row. They'll be like, boo. It's so funny. Their defense is legit, but just be careful with the ball and you're fine. And you can stay in the game and win it. Like, remember what did anyone watch the Jaguar game? They gave the ball away 3 times and still won because that offense is not good. The Ravens were in the game. They shouldn't have been. They kept giving them the ball back but dropping the ball. But somehow they were in the game because they can't score like that. They're never going to blow you out. You can always be in a game with Pittsburgh. If they win a game 40-3, I'm going to be like, how many pick sixes did you throw? Because there's no way they scored 40 points just throwing the ball. Look at Pickens. He's pissed off. He's like, throw me the ball. And he should be, because I will tell you, out of all the receivers in the league, he's one of my favorites. That man is super good. But I would love to see him on another team. I'm just saying. Kenny Pickett ain't it. I'm sorry.
No, that's where, like, sometimes you get in trouble. I'm a big fan of you take a hometown boy, and I thought it made sense for them. I don't think they tailored their offense.
They did not. Matt Canada's
what he needs. And also, I'll say this: they missed bad on Najee Harris. Like that guy, or they just don't scheme it to where they force him to run downhill.
Yeah, I don't know why he runs sideways. That's not his game. Like I don't know what the hell they're doing. Dude, you know me with my running backs. I watched one of their games the other day, and I could not understand. He's a power back, like you said. But you know how the Ravens do with Gus Edwards. You get him going forward because he's big and he's get that momentum going. He's hard to tackle. Why are you running him? The Ravens never run Gus Edwards sideways. They run like Justice Hill and the new guy Keaton Mitchell. Will do that. You got to know your running back skills. You don't run Gus. Yeah. You're not like, hey Gus, here's a wide run. We're gonna take what you do best and take it away. We're gonna be like, hey, nah, just run side. Like, come on, bro. You gotta like you said, like you gotta run them to their strengths. You don't. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, all right, man.
All right, next game. Let's go.
Next game.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got.
We're gonna have to go some warp speed now.
We'll be fine. We got the Buccaneers at the Texans. What a game! Texans won 39-37. C.J. Stroud. If we were going to put a QB into the MVP conversation, we're talking about because they want to do it all in like rep and stuff. That guy should be in there. He's 14 touchdowns to 1 pick. That is insane for a rookie. Not only that, did anyone watch the end of this game where don't get me wrong. I want to say this: Tank Dell, Nico Collins. They were playing great football. They're open or making plays. But man, this guy looks like the real. He sits there and just like has confidence, throws that ball hard. And did you see that corner route he threw when that game was drive right on the money? Oh, it was beautiful. Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield. He's pretty good, but I don't know what happened to your defense. They had a rough game. That's why I'm giving Stroud credit. They were pretty solid the whole year. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I honestly think the Texans' offense is underrated because there's weapons. The receivers aren't bad. They're pretty good. They're pretty good receiving core. And that line's been holding up pretty solid so far. But super impressed with the Texans. I think next year they're going to be a real competitor and could make some noise this year. C.J. Stroud, though, real deal. I honestly think, though, A.J. Brown, it should be the MVP the way he's been playing. Or, like Tom said, Myles Garrett, because, God, he's earned it over the years. If you're going to give someone a rep pick, it'd be that guy. He's playing amazing. And anyway, that's my overwhelming thoughts on this game. Go, overarching. Yeah, Tom?
Yeah, no, it is. Same sentiments. I mean, it's interesting this year's Tampa Bay actually has one of the worst. They're not a very good defense, which is odd.
But their pass defense is still kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like all they have is Winfield, and, I think they get pressure, but it's not. Anyways, I don't think their offense always is as complimentary. They can't really run the ball, right?
No.
But it was still a really good game. I mean, I got to give Baker this. That team's competitive with him.
He's a gamer.
Houston's fun, man. They're a young team, but that's a team on the rise. And, yeah, they hit it right with Stroud so far. We'll see. We'll see as the years go by, but it's nice to see an Ohio State quarterback actually have some success.
Oh, they've had a terrible track record. Now people will be like, "Hey, we can maybe draft this guy."
Yeah. So, that was a really good game to watch. Period. So,
yeah, their defense. Tampa Bay's had like a real good start to the season. Now they're just like hitting this wall. Maybe they're getting tired. They're kind of old, so that's what it is too. Who knows? Next game, Bears at Saints. Baguette, he's I do like the way that guy competes. Bears lost the game 17-24, as I said, in New Orleans. Taysom Hill seems to be making a huge difference for the Saints. They're using him everywhere. He's really jump-started the offense since he came back. I think before he got there, they were having trouble scoring over 20 points, and now they're just flowing. And as always, me and you talk about the Saints' defense is pretty solid. What a catch by the tight end for the Bears, though, over Tyrann Mathieu. I love the Honey Badger, but God, that was a heck of a play. To be fair, though, it was like 6'5" against 5'9", so I mean, just saying. But that kid's got some moxie, and I like him. Hey, he ain't scared. And the Bears, it's a mess, but at least you found a little silver lining. Yeah, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's really interesting with the, I actually like the kid. I think Fields is kind of like what's going on. I really question. I think Fields, they're better off moving him and looking at a different quarterback.
Yeah.
Like even this guy, they're using Cole Kmet. Like remember
Cole Kmet? Yeah, that catch was impressive.
Going to be amazing, and he's never been used.
Nope.
And then Fields kind of used him last year in garbage time. I'm like, dude, this guy needs to be a focal point in the offense.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you're seeing again the Bears. They actually are competitive now. I think that was what was such a big takeaway for me when they played Green Bay.
Yep.
I was just like, the Bears don't look like they belong on an NFL field.
No, you're right.
And again, I think they're trying to with Fields. They just try to tailor an offense that they just.
We're recording this on Thursday, and they won last night. And I'm just saying that's 3 weeks in a row, like Tom said, competitive won.
Yeah,
they're tough.
Yeah, that guy. Even the Charger game, they got blown out. But you know what? They had guys wide open that didn't catch the ball.
well, that game hinged, and then finally at the end they started really beating them. But they stuck with them for a little while in that game. Yeah. I mean, the final score didn't look good, but
No, exactly. Point being, I think they need to move on from Fields because it just doesn't make sense / work.
No.
And also, just people got to remember that team was a 1-win football team. They were terrible last year.
Oh yeah.
So they've won 2-3 games. That's a massive improvement.
Yes.
People should be trying to fire Eberflus at this point. They defensively are better. They it's hard to win in New Orleans. So, anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox there. Like, the Bears, I think, are actually doing a few things right, and people shouldn't be.
No, I agree. They're getting better.
And I think they have a lot of questions, though, at quarterback. Like, what are you philosophically trying to do?
Yeah.
You have a D2 guy come in there that's competing, understands I need to get the ball here, and Justin Fields looks like he just wants to run around and play hero ball all the time.
Yeah.
I think you need to really consider different quarterbacks in this draft. I don't know. Or honestly, stick with this guy and go draft him like a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be my... At this point, I wouldn't take any of these quarterbacks as high as people are going to take them. I'm all in. When I watch Marvin Harrison Jr.,
he's really good. Yeah.
They have at Ohio State right now.
He's really good. Yeah, he really is.
Dude, that guy is a Hall of Fame wide receiver in the making.
He has very good footwork too. It's really impressive.
I mean, he should. His dad understands the game. He should be like. Dude,
Marvin Harrison's one of the most underrated because the reason he don't get the clout he does is he was really just a technician, route running and hands. That's it. He was such a technician.
Yeah.
He just really.
We can talk all day about that. We probably should.
We'll do a draft. We'll do a draft summary before. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. All right, this game was not much to talk about. Colts 27, Panthers. Colts at the Panthers. Colts won 27-13. I'll be real quick. Panthers, I still think Bryce Young's fine, but that team is devoid of a lot of talent on offense. It is just him running for his life and trying to make plays. The Colts, gutsy as always. Gardner Minshew keeps you in every game. Their defense is really solid, or has been most of the season. They win 27-13. Colts still in it, looking pretty good. We'll see what they got. Good, Tom. Jonathan Taylor's coming back soon.
Same. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get more carries.
My same thoughts. So nothing really special here. I think just the Panthers are in for a long haul, and again, they were bad. They're trying to do a whole culture.
I just don't want people to do like they're doing with, to a lesser extent, but doing with Jordan Love. Calm down with like the Bryce Young sucks thing. Hey, like Tom said, first year for both of them. CJ Stroud's playing great right now. We'll see. Give it like 3 years. We always do this. 1 year you overreact. Remember when RG3 was better than Andrew Luck? That's all I'm saying. Remember that? That went away real quick.
And I will tell you, RG3 was never better than.
Yeah. Do you remember that though? After the first season,
yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like, we'll see. Okay, y'all gotta chill. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Bryce Young. We'll see once they draft people and get their thing going. Because this also Frank Reich don't have the people on his team he wants yet. He's got to have an off-season draft, all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. All right. Talk about a game like this one's just a culture change, and I love it. Giants at the Raiders. The Raiders won 30-6. Looking very impressive. Antonio Pierce. Hey, I love it. Oh, man, when he said it was him, dude, I was like, oh my God. Antonio was like, let's go. Did anyone notice, if you don't think a coach matters, that is the team to watch because they were lighting cigars. They were like, thank God this guy. Listen, can we stop hiring Josh McDaniels? He is what he is. This is too talented. Like Tom said last week, this is too talented of a team not to win some of these games. They have talent all over the place, and they showed you it in this game. They beat a team with a third-string quarterback like you should. They beat them like we were way better than you, and that's how it should have been. That is a much more talented team than they were showing, and they showed it out for their coach. I think, and God, for Al Davis, Mark Davis, right? That's his name. Whatever. The owner for the Raiders. Please, this is your second chance. If this keeps going the way it's going, hire the guy. Don't do a Basacci again and be like, oh, the players love him well. Forget that. Like, bruh, don't do it again.
Yeah, I think number one,
you're already on the.
McDaniels has always struggled because they try to, the minute they get there, they immediately plaster, do your job.
Yep.
And you know what? People see through the fakeness, right? Like, these are adults, man. You know what they want to see in your leadership? Authentic leadership.
Be yourself. It's not hard.
Yes. Number one. Number two, look, don't sit there and go, don't say that about these Patriots.
Yeah. What was that? Oh.
Come on, man. That shows you, again, the insecurity as a coach. And, again, these owners trying to hire this guy, I can't believe you can't sniff this out, man. You're trying to, anyways, I agree. Like, dude, Josh McDaniels, I think that we can call the experiment dead. But Antonio Pierce is actually like a guy I think a lot of people have been really high on in terms of potentially being one of those rising coaches in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
So that's really exciting. Love to see him. He was a great linebacker for the Giants for a long time.
Oh, not only that, I love that he's playing for his hometown, like basically his hometown. I know they moved to Vegas, but I'm saying his hometown team. Like the Raiders were in LA when he was a kid. It's kind of cool, man. It was like his team growing up. It's so awesome, man. Sometimes the stories in the NFL are so cool. Yeah.
I'll say this: we'll see. It's the Giants, dude. The Giants are a mess.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I agree.
And I don't think it's Dayball's fault. I truly think that's the Mara family, how they
Daniel
built
Jones.
that team for years.
And Daniel Jones.
This
Why?
whole thing with
Why?
the Daniel Jones thing, just and I understand they're playing him last week because Tyrod's out, but that is a joke.
Yeah.
They should have let that guy walk. They would have been better off drafting.
Yes.
They'd be better off with Josh Dobbs.
No. They would have.
Dude,
They would have.
Daniel Jones is just, another thing of guys, stop it with these experiments. He's not Eli, okay?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
They're just not a very good team across the board. They're not playing at level they need to.
No.
So.
And like I said, I like Wink.
Daboll was able to outcoach everybody last year. Now now you're seeing reality.
And I just want to say,
you now need the Joes to do it.
And I like Wink Martindale, but I understand why the Ravens got away from him. He blitzes too much. It's too risky with it. It's I like him, but it's kind of like the new era of the NFL. You got to mix it up. These teams will eat you alive if you do the same thing over and over again. It's just how it works. I mean, it's still a good D coordinator, but I get why the Ravens moved on. It made sense. Next game. This game. Cowboys at the Eagles. Cowboys 23, Eagles 28. I'm just going to say it off the jump of the game because all I heard was everyone tell me how good. I watched this whole game. That was not a good game to watch. A lot of flags, a lot of bad play, or leaving people wide open, both teams. It's like, just me personally. The final score does not indicate how a game is for me. Because if a team blows out another team, I can be okay with that as long as, if I feel like the other team's just playing really good football, okay, I'm like, okay, well, they're smooth on their assignments, all that. This game was sloppy. Penalties every play. Like the last drive. Eagles, why are you grabbing the guy? Bradbury, the game's over. Stay back. Just wait for the deep pass. They needed to go, what was it, 80 yards in 20-some seconds or 30 seconds. Dude, how did you guys mess that up? All the penalties. You let them get in range. And then, because it's the Cowboys, they always do this. This is my problem with the Cowboys. They're always the same team. They get close, and then they make the mistakes to lose. In this game, Dak played great. I agree. But then, when you needed him at the end, what's he do? Take 2 terrible sacks, and the game's over. Bro, you were at the 6-yard line with 11 seconds left. Bro, just don't get sacked. Okay? That's it.
Well, number one,
and a false start.
A lot of people were saying at the trade deadline they needed another lineman, which is a big thing. Number two, this is what Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay, right? Just what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And, in terms of offensively, what they're calling, all that. They had plays, man, and I agree with you, the refs and all that. It was a good game, my opinion. I loved it. It was Dallas's opportunity to really, cheat. I thought, they were going to. What I get tired with Dak is I just don't think Dak is clutch. I'll be really honest.
He's not, no.
He is a very mid quarterback. I think Romo had more of that in him.
Yeah, I agree.
Dak was, and I think they're kind of, they're sticking with Dak because right now in the NFC that's kind of elite.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it's mid.
Believe
I'm
it.
super curious if they got a guy that could just.
Believe me.
I don't know, man. It's just they're a weird team, man. And I will say this. The NFL tailored their refs won't call things for teams that are doing well, man. It happened when Green Bay was amazing for all those years. Now I've noticed in games they get a lot of weird calls against them, and they're the team that they'll quote unquote. We're making a point of emphasis on quarterback sneaks, so we're going to say that every other team runs a quarterback tush push now, but the Packers are offsides on offense this time, right? But the Eagles can do it every time, and it's the same formation, and they get by with it. Because guess what? It's Philly. It's fun, whatever. Would love to see 10 flags thrown on that team. So that's, I think, what's
Oh, same
super.
thing with the Chiefs, man. I like them, but I said it to you before. If you're gonna play them and beat them, you can't let the game come down to the end because they're gonna get that call, just like in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying it wasn't a good call, but I see a lot of plays during the week they don't call that. That little thing on Juju Smith, no, they don't call that. They don't. But on that play, they did because you're playing the Chiefs, and I'm not even blaming them. You are the bell cow, like you said, like the Eagles or the NFC one. They're gonna give you that call at the end. Don't let the game be close because you will lose. You will. Mahomes is getting that call every time, and I'm not even hating on him. I'm just saying that's how it is. Y'all got to be ready. You can't let them beat you. But like Tom's saying to the NFC, I'm dead serious. I'm a Ravens fan. If the Ravens get out of the AFC, that's all I'm worried about. Because I'm sorry, right now you put any of them NFC, I think they can beat them. Right now, present day, they can beat it. Definitely. Did you see all them opening? The CD Lamb was running down the middle of the field. I was like, what are y'all doing with like you said, their secondary, the Eagles secondary, man. Bird can't fix everything, man. Byard, I'm sorry. Byard can't fix everything, buddy. You guys gotta sure that up. Like you're leaving people wide open in the middle of the field every time. Bradbury, he's getting old because, dude, you're not even looking for the ball in a couple of these plays. Just grabbing. Not that it's fundamentals, right? It's the end of the game. You know how many seconds are left. Why are you just let the ball go. Like make him make the play. If you can't see the ball, instead you grab him and you give him 50 yards or whatever, 25 yards. I'm like, why? You're just helping. Sometimes like these corners, dude, they have no time. Just make him make a play. If he catches the ball, oh well. Don't grab him so they just put him up there and it's no time off it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's how they coach them now. They'd rather them just grab and throw a flag than score a touchdown, right? Because
Well, that
it's
wasn't
just
going to be a
stop
touchdown,
ball
though.
foul. Who cares?
It wasn't going to
So
be a touchdown, though. It was going to be like a 30-yard gain. The clock would have still ran if he tackled him.
yeah,
That's assuming he
anyway,
catches it.
yeah. I mean, either way, dude, it's like
I don't know.
they just aren't clutch at all.
I didn't think it was a bad game. I just thought it was very, very just sloppy. It was a very sloppy game. I saw a lot of like meh football in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. So
Yeah, Eagles though, like the Chiefs kind of just keep winning. So respect. All right, here we go.
yeah, I don't think they're as good as last year.
No,
Though.
no,
I'm
no,
just gonna be really honest.
no,
But anyways,
no.
keep going.
Okay, Bills at Bengals. Bengals win 24-18. I think the Bengals are really starting to heat up. Joe Burrow looks really good. Not much to say here. It's typical Bengals. They get it rolling later on in the season. The Bills, Josh Allen, they gotta. Can you run the ball for the guy? Like you just throw like 50 times with him every. It's a joke. There's no complimentary football. They're throwing every play. Bills defense played hard like it always does. I just think they're not a like you said complimentary football. This team throws every play. It's the teams are figuring them out. Just kind of play pass defense. Keep Josh Allen in the pocket. You're fine. That's it. Go ahead, Tom. And the injuries are
Yeah,
starting to catch up to him because he tries to run over people. Which I'm just going to point this out real quick. I'm sorry, Tom. Point this out. Cam Newton got a lot of crap for doing that, and I never heard all this stuff about Josh Allen. I'm just saying, and now look at him. He's getting all beat up from it because he did the same thing, actually to a worse extent. But go ahead, Tom.
yeah, no, dude, the Bills are in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott was good for righting the ship, and I think he is a really good head coach. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
They got they just I think their Super Bowl window passed.
Yeah.
They only got Diggs. They only got Allen. They refuse to run the ball. They drafted this other weapon that they don't use. Yeah, you're right. Josh Allen's wild. I still think he's an amazing player.
I do too. Yeah.
You know, Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're on a roll. I think they are hurting though without having two receivers, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It shows you how much that team matters health wise. But yeah, the Bills are in big time trouble, man. I just don't. I think they're a mid team this year. I'd be curious if McDermott gets fired because it just, dude, that team had. What was so frustrating and honestly what was really annoying about what was going on with the Bills fans is like, guys, I understand you should be hyped up about what you did against Kansas City. Like, don't get me wrong, that was a heck of a playoff game, but dude, that didn't make you a Super Bowl contender.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. and they, you played a shootout with Mahomes and you lost, right? And I kind of thought last year they made the moves that they needed, but like again, to be a Super Bowl caliber team, you got to do kind of what the Bengals do, man. They're willing to do what it takes, right?
Uh-huh.
To win the game. If that means we got to hand the ball to Mixon 25 times in the playoffs and just pound you, that's what we're gonna do. They made sure like we got to go fix the O-line, right? And anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with that team of just like, hey man,
I wanna see the Bengals O-line though. When they play the Ravens, I'll see if their O-line's ready, because I'm not saying that they've played a couple teams in a row that aren't the best. I think they're getting a lot of hype, and I like them. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be there at the end. But, I'm just going to wait a minute. I want to see them do it against a good defense. They keep doing it against, like, kind of defense. Not that the Bills are bad, but their pass rush is not the best. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the Bills, from my perspective, I think the Bills, that's their one strength is their pass rush. They've lost a lot, though, in injury.
Trey White, I feel bad for him. That's 2 years in a row, right? He's been hurt.
I actually think the Bills' defense is what keeps them in things, and that's where McDermott, his strength is.
Oh, their offense just isn't inventive, bro. They don't
run. As a head coach, what McDermott got to do at some point is you guys have, like, when the Ravens won their Super Bowl, right?
Uh-huh.
Remember when all of a sudden Caldwell was just like, hey, we're actually going to do a crowdsource for how we're offensive game planning.
Uh-huh.
It's not going to be on me, when they fired Cam Cameron, right? Because they realized, like, hey, it's just not working.
Yeah.
And they crowdsource. They actually built game plans as a coaching staff.
Yeah.
Right now, what I feel like what's going on with Ken Dorsey is it's just, no, this is my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And him and Josh Allen and Diggs are together, but the rest of the offense, it's like, okay,
Well, dude, they never give this man a running game.
What's our identity? Like, what do we do good? Josh Allen run around? And it just doesn't work anymore.
Well, Tom, you said it.
Like at some point, they have to have that come to Jesus moment if they're going to ever make that run. Any of these championship teams, that's what they do. They're like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
And that's even like Kansas City, right? When they went back and won last year, you notice, like, hey, they said, we got rid of Hill. We're going to trust. We know our offense is Travis Kelce, but we have players that help establish plays, and, like, we work together.
Pacheco, that was a great pick because he's a power guy, and he got a little power runner, too. It's smart.
Yeah, but, and I mean, even the Bucs, right?
Yep.
Again, that was Tom Brady, Leftwich, all those guys working together,
Yep.
Like, even the Packers, when they had their success, that was actually in 2020 during the pandemic when there was nothing better to do. Everybody just watched film and they said, what do we want to do? Like, what do you like, Aaron? What don't you like, right? And talking as a whole offense, like that's, it's got to be everyone. And it's not. That's going to, I'm telling you, that is going to kill that's just going to kill them, man.
Dude, you got to get a running game. I don't get it.
I think they're in trouble. It's and I think a lot of the Bills fans feel it too. Like, man, that window's closed. I think they could get on a run this year, but they got to have that moment where you look down deep inside and say, hey, Josh Allen's going to say, no, we got to establish a run game.
Yeah. Well, I get, like, this is my problem with some of these coaches. I get the passing game has evolved, and that's great. It's great. But like you always say, the running game is the easiest way to dominate a game is to run the ball because it puts the defense.
What does Philly do?
Exactly.
Look at Philadelphia. Their dual offense is a college. The Ravens, it's still a run-based scheme.
Yes.
The Packers, they're built on the run because that's why they got so frustrated with McCarthy.
Well, you know how easy passing is when you start running the ball because those linebackers, the middle of the defense, that mucks up like all the passing game when they just sit there and they know you ain't gonna run it. They sit there like, okay, you ain't running the ball. When you get them to flinch on those ball fakes and stuff, it helps all the passing concepts, all the mid routes, everything. It works. Because then your safety, say you're playing cover 3, your middle safety kind of creeps up a little bit because he's like, Oh, they keep running on us. And what, that one little bit of hesitation, now the post in the middle is open because he hesitated and hit it. You know what I mean? It's running game's
Yep.
important. It's always important.
Yeah. Again, even Tampa with Tom Brady,
Yep.
they ran the ball. They found an identity with Fournette. And they would run it. Every Patriot team that won a Super Bowl,
Yep.
they had an outstanding run game, whether it was manufactured or, again, and they ran. And again, you can run some of those really good. The one pass I always loved that the Colts did and the Patriots do, and I think like Seattle likes to do it a lot too. They run a boot action pass that they're set up off the run and they hit a tight end real quick.
Yep.
And it's always easy 10 yards. And in this day in the NFL, that guy don't have to worry about Ray
Nope.
Lewis. Like I'm
Oh,
talking
no,
about
no,
that
no,
hit
no.
Keller took on Ray Lewis.
We had that man perpendicular, yeah.
That don't exist anymore, right? Like you can, it's mind-boggling to me with these like.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's like that. Again, that's the Bills. They're in trouble, man. That's all I can say. Until they actually have that moment. And again, this is where Sean McDermott's got it as a leader. Like, actually watch what's going on. Don't coach. Understand how you build that leadership team around you and get them all doing what we need to do. And if they can't do it,
Yeah.
you gotta, you're the guy. You gotta make the changes, man, in order to win.
Okay.
And honestly, I wouldn't be afraid to tell Ken Dorsey to see it either.
Oh, no, I agree.
Because some of that
Totally.
is just pure arrogance.
Totally.
It's people have won Super Bowls before. Go ask the 2013 or 2020 or 2012 Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you can go bring a guy like Jim Caldwell in, and you'd be shocked looking at him.
By the way, Tom, how does that guy not have it? Never mind. That's a long time ago. Jim Caldwell. We got rid of him for Matt Patricia, Detroit. That's why you had all those years before you got another decent coach.
He's a rocket scientist.
Right. I ain't getting on one of his rockets. I'm just gonna tell you all that right now. Josh Dobbs, yes.
Well, that goes back to show you, like, I don't think what people, it's like running a business, right? And you're building a team culture. People are working together every day, right? As like a coach, as an organization, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, what's your identity? What are y'all about? But also, don't be fake. Like, that's what Patricia was too. This guy was riding the coattails of, hey, Bill Belichick and this do your job thing. That don't work, man. You notice, here's the thing, Sean Payton, have you noticed when he went to Denver, he established his culture.
Yep.
But it's not like, and Dennis Allen in New Orleans isn't copying what he did. Dennis Allen is just a good coach. Sometimes, and even the same with, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell learned a lot of things about coaching, but he's not copying
Sean Payton.
his culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't. Because that's
well, remember they made fun of Dan Campbell on that press conference, but the thing, like Tom's saying, he was always himself, and that's what the players love about him, because it's Dan.
He's authentic, man.
And like you said, Tom's absolutely right. What's the worst thing? Everybody that watches this, you know this in your life. What do you hate the worst? A fake person, because that stuff is so annoying. It's like they're trying to be someone they're not. You respect people that are who they are, man. It's like that's who they are, and you like that.
Exactly. Well, yeah. No, exactly. You're fake, and you want a guy that is authentic, who has your back. Yeah. So
Let's take the.
When there's a tough decision.
Yep.
He's gonna make the right.
Hey, I was about to go to that analogy. I was gonna say, your boss, everybody that's worked a job, your boss. What do you like? You might not agree with everything they say, but you know what you like when they're authentic and they're just like, hey, I need someone to get this job done. They make a decision. You're like, okay. You might not like all the decisions, but you're like, hey, they make decisions and I respect that, The one you don't like is the waffler that always tries to be everyone's friend. You're like, bro, leave me alone,
Yeah, no, it's the waffling / I think what drives...
Like you said, we're the Patriots. Like you said, I can't believe that story from Jay Glazer. That is... I was like, my God. I was like, did he really do that? Hey, man, don't say that at the Patriots again. Like, bro.
Well, what I don't like either is, again, these are grown men, and they did the airing of the grievances, and, Josh McDaniels taking it personally. Like, bro, how arrogant are you?
Yeah,
man?
yeah,
like,
really.
These are the best athletes in the world, brother. Right? And they're grown men that have families, this isn't running a college team, right? And that's, I think, actually where you see, like, even Belichick's kind of what's been going on with him change a lot, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, you have to treat these, these men understand, hey, this pays my bills. This is going to set my family up generationally. You don't think they don't know what's at stake financially?
Yeah.
You're nuts. They're not out there trying. This isn't college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, hey, I got a scholarship, whatever, I could milk it.
Yep.
It is what it is, right? I'm telling you right now.
Grown men, man.
They're grown men that have responsibilities.
Yep.
You treat them that way.
Yep.
And, when you have an airing of the grievances and things, that's just adults like, hey, it ain't going to be pretty, but what he should have been doing there is like, yeah, I do need to change. You're right.
Yep.
This is fake. And if you can't do that as a man, or not as a man, as an adult, right?
No, I agree.
This is what you get. and I think it's funny that I still think it's funny what Antonio Pierce said about that team, and this guy was so like he's that insecure and upset because he lost that Super Bowl that way, and he's like, he should have been like, no, you're right. That was the first time we played a team that just wasn't scared.
He could have made that whole team respect him by just being like, yeah, they kicked our butt, and it was they came in there like you said, they weren't afraid, and they looked us right in the eye.
Moment, if you had any respect in that locker room, it was gone.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of crap is this?
You're telling a man that beat you, don't ever talk about that team that way. Like, dude, you don't think Antonio Pierce knows how great that Patriot team was?
Really?
Those players understand how good the other players they played against. That ain't what he was saying. What he was saying is we had an identity and a belief.
He's saying you got to go in. The message is clear. You got to go into every game believing you can win. You can't go out there like, oh, we can't win. We're playing this team.
But I will say this, though, too. The Raiders are the most dysfunctional franchise, in the NFL. They have been. I mean, everyone jokes about the Lions. I think the Lions.
No, it's the Raiders.
I don't think the Raiders, I mean, even when Al Davis is like, I got to take these guys because they're just athletic freaks.
Yeah. He runs fast. He runs fast.
Darius Hayward-Bay, baby.
Right, what's his 40 time? Hey, he dropped like 7 balls in the Senior Bowl. It's fine. He runs fast.
I'm telling you, man, that was one of my favorite. Like Jamarcus Russell, I understand where they were going. And
that's different.
Sense, but
that's different.
It made some sense, right, dude? That Hayward-Bay one to this day.
Yes.
I'll give you Robert Gallery, man. He was an Iowa lineman. Those guys.
Yes. Oh my God. They're batting.
Oh my God.
They're batting 90% with that. So yeah, Robert Gallery was definitely. He is the opposite of the Ohio State QB. He is Iowa linemen are like. He's like the only bad one. Most of them are great. It's what's weird is most of them are like Wisconsin and Iowa. They're all like either Hall of Famers or like super good. Like you don't get many, like you said, bums like that, like busts. But
and Gallery really wasn't a big bust.
No, he was okay. He just wasn't the second pick. That's it.
No.
But like you're saying, Jamarcus Russell, like he's like a Ryan Leaf kind of deal. Like people like to crap on like his college career, but he did have like #1 pick skill, especially for the way the game was going back then. Big arm, stretch to defense. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Oh yeah, man, dude. Like no, I mean it would have been cool, but sometimes that's where it goes to show you gotta have it.
But that's the thing you can't judge.
Like, I just can't believe they couldn't figure out commitment. That's all. Like, to me, I'm just like, whoa.
But that's the thing, like you said, that's the thing with like sports that makes it hard. Like for a scout just goes by what they see on film. Like you said, the organization has to do the interviews and see the non-commitment. Like this guy doesn't love football, right? That's their job. The scout's just going to tell you what it looks like on film, right? Like, oh, this dude's got big arm, he's making. But you have to do the due diligence to be like, hey, let me ask him the hard questions. Yeah, you might end up on like ESPN or something where like, can you believe he asked him this question? But you might also figure out what you need to know. Like, oh, never mind. He don't care. You should have gave him the tapes then, and then asked him to come back, because then you would have figured out real quick. Dude was lying. Like there was nothing on them tapes, bro. We know you.
I think they had indications, man. It's just again when you have an owner, that can just basically overrule, and he doesn't. again in the '70s, it was just such a different game. But
Yeah, that tape
anyways,
story is the best. That is the funniest story I've ever heard in my life. Yo said, I like all the plays. They were like, there's nothing on the tapes, bro. What the
yeah,
All right, last game. Tom alluded to the Chargers, how well they've been playing. Chargers 27-6. They were playing at the Jets. The Jets, Zach Wilson's getting a lot of crap, but they dropped a lot of passes. I still don't think he's playing very well, but God, they drop a lot of passes. They're just a mess on offense. As for the Chargers, like Tom said, they're rolling. Offense is really playing well. Here's the thing: the defense, Khalil Mack, Bosa, they're really getting their pass rushes looking good. Like Tom said, they could be sneaky. The AFC really is loaded, man. They got teams everywhere. That's going to be a heck of a play. The playoffs are going to be wild there. But and real quick on the Aaron Rodgers thing, because we got to go, or I would talk more on this, dude. What a egotistical dude. Knew it was Monday night. Came on the field just to show off. It's like, bro, go sit down. And I'm gonna say this because everybody's gonna do the all thing if he gets hurt again. Not me. You're doing this. You're putting this out here. I'm better than science and all this crap. If he steps on that field and wrecks his Achilles again, I ain't feeling bad. I'm gonna be like, oh well, you thought you knew more than you did. That's what it is. That's all I'm gonna say. This arrogant crap gets on my nerves. Stop it, dude. Just go sit it and rehab. Stop showing me that you're. I don't care.
hey man, now you understand what I've been saying.
What was the
5
point
years.
of that besides you to be like,
well, he's making it so blatantly obvious now of just like,
shut up, bro. No one cares. Go. You're hurt. Go home.
well, exactly. Because what I hate about it is he's actually showing up.
Yeah.
He's not being supportive, right? I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
He thinks he's like being this great guy off the field, but it's like you understand what that's doing. You can go throw in the bubble and show off to your teammates.
Yep.
Right? You are doing that to send a message to the world. Like you said, he thinks, you know what, whatever. I honestly don't think his Achilles was actually torn.
I don't either.
I wonder if he pulled his calf, and they're calling it an Achilles injury. And it's a bunch of BS.
It wouldn't be the first time he lied,
I'll be
okay?
blatantly obvious because there's no way if he truly tore his Achilles completely or partially, you are not coming back that quick. I'm sorry.
No. Not only that, Tom. It is not the first time this man has lied. Okay, let's be for real.
No, he's a pathological liar, right? And look, I'll say this about the Jets. The Jets are what they are.
Yes,
I think they have a really good defense.
Defense is really good. It is.
I think they're, even with Rodgers, I don't know how much more Rodgers is going to make a difference on that team. They may have beaten a couple of these teams. I don't really know, man, because I don't think...
Dude, you were there last year. They didn't even make the playoffs with them. I'm just saying.
No. So Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, to this point in time, Rodgers had 100 yards less passing. He had one more touchdown, 2 less picks than what Jordan Love has. You're telling me, again, for all the Jordan Love haters out there, right? What does that tell you, right?
Yep.
Again, that's either the offense in Green Bay is bad or maybe Aaron Rodgers isn't what he used to be. And look, he's a great player. I think he could actually help that team win 2 or 3 games extra that might propel you into the playoffs. But when it comes down to it, man, that team has all this belief in this guy that, oh my God, you know what? That guy, if that guy wants to even sniff the playoffs this year and be able to play the way he thinks he can play, dude, you should be trying to support Zach Wilson and make sure that guy, people are confident in him, and also helping those receivers and guys learn that offense and do what they got to do, man. It's comical. It's really funny. This reminds me exactly what happened with Brett going there. It was this whole media circus. I think the difference is Favre actually elevated that team because he was out there.
Oh, yeah.
Again, because Favre probably would have actually been able to play with a torn Achilles.
Right.
Because he was just a tougher player.
He was. And you know what he didn't do? He didn't say anything. They would just always find out. Remember when he played with his thumb, broken or whatever? That was wild.
Yeah, no, he led the NFL in passing teams. Yeah, dude, the Jets, again, they are what they are. I think it sucks to be in Robert Saleh's shoes right now because they should be just they honestly should be leading the AFC East.
Yeah, they're very
And
good.
I don't
defense.
though truly think it's because they don't have a starting quarterback. I think it's you switch this whole offense, and again, you went all in on this guy, which I told you is dangerous. You go all in on this guy. I don't think's that vested in him. I'm sorry. He's vested in him and proving the world wrong because he's got this egotistical maniac. He's just a special character, I guess, is what Ted Thompson called him.
Yeah, he's wild.
You know, look. Well, yeah. I mean, look. At the end of the day, you know he's egotistical, dude. Pat McAfee paid him to get on that show, and he wasn't there to try to change his narrative, man. He's there to make a quick buck and just screw around with AJ Hawk, and that's what he did.
Yep.
So I'm not, Aaron Rodgers again. There just could have been so much more if this guy would just focus on what he needs to do and not care about what the media says.
I agree.
I think, yeah, I'll give him this. I think he covered up a lot of problems in Green Bay for a long time, but also you were handed the keys to something really special in 2007 when Favre left that building and only had one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get it takes a lot. It's super disappointing.
They had a lot of opportunities that he didn't catch
it. Up to 2017, Chach, you know it. They could have
won the Tampa Bay game if he makes the throw to Davante Adams where he's open in the end zone and he missed it. He missed that throw. He skipped the damn ball. The guy was open.
Dude, Green Bay changed their offense. They brought in the reason they brought in LaFleur was to say we have to run the ball. You can't do what Mike McCarthy did in this old West Coast style. I'm going to do what I want.
Tom, I used to joke about
running back and Aaron Jones, who by the way broke Paul Hornung and Donald Driver's touchdown, record.
Tom,
he's like number 4.
Tom, I used to always joke about how good he was. Like, I have no ill will towards the guy. It's just this is ridiculous, bro. Like, no one cares. Go stop throwing the ball in the middle of. We get it. You can throw the ball out. And I'm like, Tom, I honestly don't think he did tear his Achilles because he, like he said, he's a pathological liar. It is what it is. You can go look up the receipts. It's all true. Okay. But my thing is, even if he did, if he did whatever, somehow heal enough to walk already, okay, which sounds like BS, but hey, I'm just telling everyone, you're not getting sympathy from me if you go back out there and like the third play you tear, because you know what you're not doing right now? You're throwing a ball with no one around you, a bunch of 300-pound people hitting you. Their line's not good. Their line is terrible. If that man gets hit, I would like to see that a ruptured Achilles handle a 300-pound dude grabbing on him and yanking him again. If it tears again, I'm just telling everybody because I'm tired of like in the media we're like, oh, it sucks. I feel so. I don't feel bad. You want to be arrogant. You want to do. I don't like people that do that. Okay, I'm not giving you sympathy then. I'm arrogantly gonna laugh. I'm done.
I truly hope.
Oh well.
Green Bay gets an opportunity to play Aaron Rodgers. They both finished third place or whatever, the same place in the division in their respective divisions, and they get to play each other, and he has to come to Lambeau. Because I would love to attend that game and boo the crap out of that guy because the difference with Favre is I knew Favre wanted to play and he still had something left.
Oh, if he didn't mess up his bicep, the Jets would have been pretty good that year.
Yeah. I mean, look what he did with the 09 Vikings, man. He took that team to the
Should have been.
Adrian Peterson fumbles away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, because the picks always. I was like, if AP don't fumble, bro, 4 times. Remember, he fumbled 4 times in that game too. They just picked up 2 of them. That's bad.
No, Brett was. It sucked when he left because you just knew.
Yeah.
Something wasn't right when the story came back out. And I mean, look, Green Bay had to do something because they knew what they had in Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of the same situation with Jordan Love. You have this really talented guy. You've spent all this money trying to make this next championship happen. It didn't work. You really just got to move on. Cap-wise, you're killed. And that's what they did. But the thing is, I just don't think Aaron was invested last year. It was so disappointing. I think he was just there. He wanted to talk and do all, and he's still doing it, man. And it's just like,
well, let's
go away, man. No one I don't think anybody. Brett wasn't in the media doing that stuff, man. The guy was just producing the results.
With the Brett thing, too, remember, off the field's off the field, guys. We talked about this so much. But, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. And I'm not, and the thing with Aaron Rodgers, I just want to get this so everybody can't sit here and like, I'm not wishing him to get hurt again. I hope he's healthy if he comes back. I'm just saying, I'm not going to feel bad because you're doing something that is not recommended by the doctors. Okay, you're just going against it, and that just to be a flake. Okay, that's not okay, man. You are taking the risk, so I'm not going to be surprised if something happens. I'm not saying I'm wishing that. I don't wish injury on anyone. That is not right. I don't hate the guy. Okay. He's a really good football player, Hall of Famer, all that, amazing. I just don't like the arrogant attitude. I never have, and I never. Not in a team game. This is a team game. Trust me, they might not say it to him, but there's people on that team that don't like that. I guarantee it.
No. Well, I think because here's the thing too, right? I'm going to tell you right now, you may not lose that locker room because I do think like he actually does provide leadership.
Oh, he does. He does.
And, like good advice because he's been there. But like, I'm telling you, man, when he doesn't produce, because it's hard, right? Because you're like, even in that game against the Chargers, what would Rodgers have done different?
No, I agree.
If they're dropping 8 balls, nothing.
Nothing. No.
He couldn't do anything different.
Thank you. You saw what I saw. A lot of drops.
Is with him is it's this whole. He's this like quote unquote savior. And it's like, no, man, you have like this team. And you saw it during Hard Knocks. These guys are just like they're so starstruck with him. But it's like, dude, he's not gonna save your butt.
No, I agree.
And because you know what, he's not. That's not that saves that team is you have a defense and you have an offense that makes plays. Like what you saw against Kansas City, even though they lost it, you saw like, hey man, when this team plays complimentary football, woo,
they're tough. Yeah, that defense is legit. Okay, last thing before we leave, I just got to do it because he has been a really good player for a long time and doesn't really get a lot of shine because of where he plays. But Keenan Allen, really good receiver, probably future Hall of Famer, but you know how the log jam is with receivers. Had literally the best catch to 10,000 yards probably you'll ever see because most people, you'll get like a ridiculous catch for that, so that was kind of cool. Really great play, too. He's been really good his whole career. He's a solid player, man. I love him. Tough. Makes the big catches. Overall, good player. What about you, Tommy? Anything else to say?
That's it, man. I think we talked long enough.
I know. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Likes, as always, are appreciated. Subscribe for more content. And as always... Tom, go ahead.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.